So we had a couple of comments, and normally I'm at work and it'll come through on my phone, the comment, and then I'll text Daniel and I'll be like, what the heck? That's normally not the word I use, but we'll go with that. And I'm like, babe, like, how can they say this kind of stuff? And, you know, of course it hurts my feelings more because most of the comments are geared toward me and my children. Hey guys, it's Princess and Daniel here. We have had so many amazing and wonderful comments from you guys on our videos, like throughout the past. It's really been like 14 days that everything's taken off, and we've hit over 500,000 views today on all of our stuff across everything, and we're so appreciative of those of you that have shown your love and just really have taken the time to become a part of the Mizell family. But in retrospect of that, we've also had the flip side of that, and I am really learning that people can be very hurtful and mean and say things. I don't want to say not realizing how it affects people, because they know what they're saying when they say it. So they know how it's coming off and how it's going to affect people. But there were just a few comments that stuck out to me, and Daniel and I kind of wanted to take the time to address them. I want to say they were a few comments, but they're also misconceptions about mixed family, you know, where there is a white person and a black person, but it doesn't necessarily have to be a white person and a black person. It could be, you know, any race that is not of the same race, Hispanic, whatever, right? So we had a couple of comments, and normally I'm at work and it'll come through on my phone, the comment, and then I'll text Daniel and I'll be like, what the heck? That's normally not the word I use, but we'll go with that. And I'm like, babe, like, how can they say this kind of stuff? And, you know, of course it hurts my feelings more because most of the comments are geared toward me and my children. So we'll go through a couple of them, and I guess we'll just talk our side and our truths on those, I guess.
Okay.
He hasn't said much, so I don't know.
She's usually the talker. I'm usually the doer.
That's not true. Okay, there's this first one. You can find these down below in the comments of our homecoming video, because that's where the majority of them were.
I was gonna say I do agree with her. She did say that most people are going to attack her or her kids, and it's true. Most of the negative comments are towards her. There's usually none towards me. And usually, even though people do comment negative, or most of the time it's fake pages. Like, usually they hide behind a picture anyway. So I personally don't let the stuff get to me, but it does bother her. Being as though she knows she's going to be targeted. So she'll usually send a screenshot of it, and I'm at work and I'm busy, and I'll say a quick reply. Sometimes I have time to say stuff, but it's never like I'm blowing her off. I'm busy at work. But sometimes I'll tell her how I feel about it, and she'll use that as a comment on the page. She'll like, I'm going to use that, and she'll comment. But today, I mean, it looks like I got one geared towards me, kinda. It's against y'all, but me as well, I guess, since I'm a bottom of the barrel white man, I guess. I guess.
I don't know. We'll get into
I'm not
it, I
rich,
guess.
so I guess I'm
We're about to get into it. I'm sure you're confused. Okay, so this is what basically is going on. You guys know that I was married before. I was married to a black male.
Mm-hmm.
So my 3 children are black, like completely black. I'm black, their father's black, my children are black. Daniel's children are mixed. He has 6 children. They're all mixed. He doesn't have any children that aren't mixed. All of his kids are biracial. They are black and white.
Mm-hmm.
None of them are mine, if you are new to the channel right now. So there was this one comment today saying, raising kids that are not his, shaking my head, white men really set the bar low. So that basically means that him being with me and choosing to help raise my children, that I am a low bar. Okay? So, I like to praise myself very highly and pat my own self on the back because I've accomplished a lot. And being with me is definitely not a low bar, ever. I've done a lot in my 34 years of living. Like I told this young woman, I told her, I was like, I'm a school teacher. I have a master's degree. He didn't reach for a low bar. He didn't settle for me. He went up. And
I think when we picked each other, or it never was job related.
It wasn't.
Us dating.
Why did I fall in love with you? What made me fall in love with you? What did I always tell you?
Because of my kids.
Because of the way he loves his
them
kids.
And a dad to them.
Exactly. Had nothing to do with his status. It didn't have to do with, me seeing him as military. Because there was a comment as well that I saw dollar signs when I knew he was in the military. And I was like, wait, what? First of all, obviously you don't know that much about the military because the government does not pay them that much. They're not, rolling in the dough unless they deploy. Mm-hmm. And that's us taking a huge sacrifice for them to even do that. And so it's a huge misconception, one, thinking that I'm with him for his military money. It's a second misconception, thinking that he did me a favor by getting with me, that helped me come up. That's a misconception. I had my own before I met him. Yes, we helped each other out, but I was able to stand on my own 2 feet before we met each other. I wasn't on welfare, as this other comment said. I wasn't living off of the government.
No food stamps.
No food stamps. Man, I wish I could borrow some food stamps, have some food stamps.
No,
I know that's against the law. But no, I've not had any of that. And so, there was this guy on there down in the comments, and he was like, 75% of black people are on welfare. And that is a misconception. Please go do the statistics. Go look at them, and you will see that African Americans are not the majority stakeholders in welfare.
Regardless if it's 75% white, 75% black, this page, our page, is not about race.
It's not.
It's not about status. It's not about race. It's not about who makes more money. It's about love and raising kids. That's what it's about.
And that's what we kept saying, though.
As well as we had a guy, he thought blended meant race and turned it to race. Blended means all our families coming together as one, because it's 5 different families coming together as one. That's what blended is. It's not race. It's when her kids leave the door every morning for school, they're still black. When they come home, they don't have to worry about color or none of that, no matter what they go through during the day. And that's stuff that we have to deal with. So y'all may not understand, y'all may do. But I'm a white male. I may get pulled over by a police officer and get to go without a ticket. If she gets pulled over, she might get a ticket. Either way, in the eyes of everybody outside this door, she's black, her kids are black. And that's stuff we have to deal with. And when it's time for me to step in, if I'm around, then I do that. If they get privileges because they're with me and we're out in public, then that's what happens. But either way, she's black, I'm white, and this is nothing about color at all. And it upsets her. I can deal with it. I got a thick skin, but it's still something that, you know, I don't know, people have to learn. That's what's messed up in this world today is race and all that. In the military, we don't have to deal with that. There's no black, white, female, male. We're all family. So we never have this race issue or nothing like that. We're all brothers and sisters. Now, I understand sometimes it is like that, I guess, but I guess with the CBs, with my unit, it's never like that. We're all close because it's like we're a small family, and we all stick up for each other. And if the world was more like that, it would be a lot easier.
We didn't get into this relationship like thinking that it was going to be easy or that we were going to forget our race. Like, I don't wake up in the morning and forget that I'm black, and he doesn't wake up in the morning and forget that he's white. We know that we're a black and white couple, you know, and we also know, living in Southern Alabama, that everybody is not going to accept our love for each other. But there's no reason to get on somebody's video and be cruel. My thing is, if you don't like it, keep scrolling. If you don't agree with our family, if you don't agree with our family dynamics, we chose this life. You don't have to choose this life for yourself. If that's something, if you feel strongly about that, and you're like, you know, mixed dynamic families is not for me, then don't do that. That's on you. But
I mean, we appreciate your opinion, you know, but that doesn't mean you have to comment negative stuff. I mean, it's just not for you. You know, when she tells me about stuff that's being said, I always try to respond positive and not be negative.
He tries to be positive. Me,
because there's no
I'll be ready
telling
to
who's
pop
watching.
off.
So it's best, to me, it's best to be positive, because who knows, that positivity may eventually affect them to where they just say, you know, maybe I did come off wrong, or maybe I should apologize, or, you know, maybe I do need some work on the inside. So responding to them positive may change their self. I don't know, but I just try not to respond negatively unless
He
they
tries to be the peace
physically or
guy,
try to hurt
and
somebody
I'll
or
be like,
cause harm, or if it's kid related, then I guess physical maybe.
Ain't nobody asking you to fight.
Overprotective when it comes to them, and that's like in person. But over this internet stuff, that doesn't affect me. That's just words.
And it doesn't affect him, guys, because okay, I do all the video editing and all that kind of stuff, so I'm the one who sees all this stuff, right? It doesn't affect him because he doesn't have to see it. He doesn't have to deal with it. If I don't text him and say, this is what somebody said today, there's no way that he would know.
I see him when she's scrolling down, commenting every one of them. She's like, here, babe, this is related to you. Here, you comment. And I'll comment. Or she'll send a screenshot of it and let me see it, and then I'll give her a reply to type. But mainly, 90% of everything on this page, she does, she handles, she edits. We're trying to get her a MacBook now so we can make it easier. She's the brains behind this whole thing. So all the negative comments and positive comments and everything, that's all her. Just so happened, she made a video about me coming home and it blew up, and we've been going with it ever since. And actually, the whole YouTube channel was the kids' idea. This is something they wanted to do. So moving on, any more comments or?
Just that misconception that almost all black people are in poverty or in a gang, drug infested neighborhood.
So he said these kids will grow up. This is from
Glenn
Man 62. He said these kids will grow up better than if they were in a black family. You can see the love. Glad they have a real chance of growing up safe and not in welfare, poverty, or a gang drug infested neighborhood like 75% of them.
So
I can't say 75% because I'm sure he didn't do his research.
He didn't do his research because that's not the statistic.
What you see on social media or TV.
And so I kindly let him know that I have 3 degrees and I work my butt off for them.
I think you can cuss on YouTube if you need to.
I don't know. This is a family-friendly channel.
Gotcha.
So I bust my butt to get those 3 degrees. And I'm still working to pay them off. Okay? And I also let him know my kids have never lived in poverty. They've never been on welfare. And that I make great money on my own. And that he gave a backhanded compliment. You guys know what a backhanded compliment is, right? When he said, you can see the love, that was a compliment. But then the backhanded part was when he was like, glad they're going to have a real chance at growing up safe and not in welfare, poverty, or gang related or gang drug infested neighborhood. That's a backhanded compliment. You can see the love, but to end that, you want to sit here and poke because that's basically what you did.
It's like he built you up and then smacked you down.
Yeah, and I'm like,
and to be honest, her kids have never came in the house sagging or saying the N-word or anything like that. Like, they're all about video games and
super smart
basketball and sports, and they're intelligent. They mind. They do what we tell them to do. I mean, every now and then you have an attitude or somebody that don't want to do a chore. But other than that, when I got with her, like, her kids were awesome. Like, they were great. They wouldn't know all the statistics and all that stuff.
The most my kids saw a gang-related neighborhood was when we would go down to Miami and visit my mom because of the neighborhood she stays in.
We'd go to Miami, and even then it wasn't bad because we mainly just hung around family. We didn't even do much in Miami. We always was cooking out or had family come over or at a wedding or something. I don't even think they're really exposed to that. The only way they would be is if on YouTube or something that
movies,
school
TV shows,
or something.
Seeing it that way.
But they have no interest in acting thuggish or being a thug, and they're not around it at all. And if they did portray that image or do something like that, it's because something they seen. It wasn't because it's taught to them.
And I always try to tell him, you know, he has mixed children, and I'm like, you'll never understand, even though your kids are light, you'll never understand what they will also go through. They have 2 sides of their life. They are both white and black. There are white people who are not going to accept the black side of them. There are black people who are not going to accept the white side of them. Yeah, you're right. You can't make everybody happy. But I guess we have to figure out, I mean, this channel is called RaisingNine, right? So we have to figure out how to raise our 9 children with having that.
Yeah.
You know?
We just got to teach them the pros and cons to both, and their weaknesses and their strengths, and what they can use to their advantage and what they can't, and what to look out for and to stay out of certain situations.
The world is just cruel, and you think that it would get better over time. So everybody's not on the same page that we are. Like, I guess you could say that we've elevated to where love has no color. We've elevated to where our family is so, we have so much love. That's what everybody even says on the homecoming video, is that you can tell those kids really all love him. He's a great father. He's a great dad. You can tell they all really love him. If you can see that, if you can see that love is there, why does it matter what shade we are?
Yeah, it's the same way when I come to Miami around her whole family. Like, they don't see the color. I'm some white dude in Miami, and they hug me as if I'm one of theirs, offer me food, drink, whatever, as if I'm blood related. So, and likewise with mine.
So, I don't know. I guess this video was just kind of questioning.
How would you handle this if it was you in this situation?
Yeah.
I guess.
Are we going about it right? I always have to think about the fact that my children do watch our YouTube videos as well.
I mean, and we could learn as well, you know. They could enlighten us on better tactics at handling stuff like this. We don't have all the answers. We're learning as we go too.
Right. But just imagine how hurtful it is for our children to see those comments too, because they watch our channel.
Yeah, they're
so I just want to make sure that we are handling and addressing it in the right way. That
because they can read our comments as well, not just they can see how we respond. And if we don't say anything, it's like we're not defending them. And if we do say something, we gotta watch what we say, because we don't want to.
Because y'all know I'd be ready to pop
upset
off.
them or have someone of our followers interpret it the wrong way and get upset with us.
And we've got so many followers from not in this country, not in the United States, and most of them, they see things the way we do. It's amazing how other countries.
Most of them wish they're like, oh man, we can't be with the military like that, and we can't talk to them, and that's not allowed in our country. The military video and stuff like that, and they wish they could had it like this, and all they see is love and wish they had what we have. And then the people that do have what we have, not all of them, but very select few, tend to have negative comments.
I know we can't make everybody happy, and hey, we're not trying to.
No.
But we do want to make this a good environment for our children. And so in order to do that, I think it was right for us to just kind of address some of the misconceptions. So here's a breakdown of some of the misconceptions. I am not with Daniel for his money. Daniel is not with me for my money. That's misconception one. Okay? We help each other to be able to live like this. We worked our butts off to get to this point. Nothing was given to us. Nothing was handed down. We worked really hard to get everything that we have now. And we did that so that our children could have a better life and a better childhood. That was the whole purpose. When we decided we wanted to get a home, it was so that they could have enough room to be kids and enjoy growing up. And we wanted to give them a nice place to do that.
Yeah, it's a place that even the kid, it was more so for the kids than it was for us. So they wouldn't be on top of each other and have more room, and they love it. And in return, it makes us love it even more. But it's come to the point to where my kids sometimes don't even, they've never really had friends sleep over. They've had sleepovers and kids come over and spend a night, or when we had the little water slide out there, the whole basketball team came, and girls sleepovers and stuff, and fires and all this other stuff. And some of my kids don't even want their friends to spend a night because they don't want them to think we're rich, and that's definitely
we're
not
far
the case
from being rich
at all.
Far from being rich.
But just for them to think like that, it's pretty awesome. And we don't want nobody changing the way they think or to tarnish them. It's kind of like almost trying to, how a kid, as soon as they figure out that Santa Claus isn't real, they start thinking about life differently. We're trying to
protect our children.
Protect them and have them dreaming big. That's what our Wi-Fi password is. Dream big.
Can't be giving out our Wi-Fi password. So let me tell y'all one thing about statistics before we sign off. When I was 19 years old, I got pregnant. When Daniel was 19 years old, he had his first kid.
I didn't get pregnant.
He didn't get pregnant.
Yeah.
But I said it right though, didn't I? Had his first kid.
I had my first kid.
Okay. Yeah. So we were both the same age. We did not have kids with each other at that time, in case you're new. We didn't even know each other.
And
but we were both
almost
19.
the exact same time, because Sienna's birthday is February 1st and Shyla's is March 16th of 07. So almost.
Yeah.
And then even Terius, his is September 9th? 10th?
Mm-hmm.
Always confuse them. September 9th or 10th and December 9th.
Yeah, but September 10th and then Bentley's is August 24th.
Yeah, so even Bentley is right there.
Yeah, we had two sets of kids like right next to each other. But that wasn't what I was going to say. I was going to say the statistic, as far as the statistics go, when I was 19 years old and I found out that I was pregnant with Sienna, I told myself then that I would not become a statistic. You know, it's most people from our generation got pregnant or had a kid around 17, 18, 19 in our generation.
Mm-hmm.
People just did. Okay. Then those people went to work regular jobs and, you know, kind of did what they needed to do to make ends meet, to take care of their child and do things like that. I, at 19, big belly, huge belly, said, that will not be me. I made that decision. I said, I don't want to be a statistic. So I pushed myself. It was the hardest fight of my life. I pushed myself to go to school, even though I was pregnant. Literally had a C-section with Sienna and went back to class 2 weeks later. Huge scar, wasn't supposed to be out the bed, wasn't supposed to be moving around. Went back to school at night so I could finish my degree. I did what most people want to hang the towel up and say, I'll go back when I can, or when my daughter is older, or when my daughter is old enough to go to daycare. But because I wanted a better life for her and I didn't want to be a statistic, I did what I had to do.
And that's with any color. That's not just black
that's
or
with
white.
Any color. That's what I'm saying.
Anything.
That's just with being just on statistic.
Yeah.
You know,
as soon as you get a kid, it's no longer about you anymore.
Exactly.
It's about them, and it's really hard.
So it ticks me off when people are like, statistics this and, you know, all of that, and I'm like, look, I changed my entire life around so I can make sure that my children, before I used to say my 3 kids, but now it's my 9 kids, so that I can make sure that they had a better life. When Daniel and I got together, my thing was to make sure that we live a good life and that our children get to see what a good life entails so that they can pass that on. And I think that we're doing that, and we want to fight those misconceptions that make it seem like, you know, one of us used the other one
as a come up or something.
Yeah, because that's not it. There's true, genuine love here. And
we feed off each other. You know, if she ain't got it and I got it, then we both got it, or vice versa.
I'd be like, babe, I used your debit card today. You know.
Or, I don't know, I can't think of nothing. There ain't really no, like, I did this, so you got to do that. So
we don't do tit for tat.
Really. If anything, I promote her to swipe it more than to not.
Because I
would rather her eat something at work than to not eat. You know,
he's just trying to fatten me up, y'all. Don't listen to him.
A little bit.
Anyways, I'm glad we were able to address some of those things. So please do not feel like we are coming to our channel to bash. We were just coming to address some misconceptions, and we wanted you guys to know where our hearts were. So we wanted you to know where our hearts were, and we wanted to address some of those issues and let you know that our love is more than just black and white.
Look, here's my black
What's
daughter.
up, guys?
Mm-hmm.
What y'all talking about?
You see what side she
Some
came
people said some mean stuff about us being black and white, and
we're just addressing it.
so we were just addressing some of those misconceptions.
It was probably fake profiles anyway, commenting behind the picture. But it'll be alright.
Sienna says hi, guys.
Deal with it.
Sienna, tell Shane hey.
What?
I hope you ain't
let's
watching
click
this.
off this.
All right, guys.
There is no shame.
Don't forget to like,
We're not gonna talk about that.
comment, subscribe,
And
hit that notification bell,
Whoop whoop.
and share it with your
Pray
friends.
that I make this
Cheerleading.
team.
Oh yeah, she has cheer tryouts this week. Boys have state championship
Today.
this weekend.
Very busy.
busy, y'all. And then I be having to deal with this stuff online. It just be too much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I gotta go take her to cheer practice, so I'm fixing to sign out. But we love y'all. We'll talk to you later. Don't forget to like, subscribe,
and hit that notification bell.
Until then, we're Raising Nine. See you next time.